So welcome to Ascension Tour, you're to our second best of 5 of the evening, spawning to the top left hand corner in purple, playing Terran for LDLC in France, La Programmeuse Française. It's Miyako. And to the bottom right, in red, playing Protoss for Psystorm. And the US, it's Poizon. Miyako going for the full wall-off, while Poizon's already sending a probe across after having planted the assimilator and the gateway. Barracks still in the making, so let's see. Also, gas is already out for Miyako. Miyako hasn't actually been practicing StarCraft at all. Even before the season actually finished, she completely switched to World of Warcraft. So she's actually only playing this best of 5 for the FSL right now, not having played StarCraft 2 for, I think at least 3 weeks. I mean, her last StarCraft game was actually her Week 7 match against Y Sion. And as far as I know, she hasn't played StarCraft any time since. So, Poizon already preparing to probably do some proxy shenaniganery. And I think that's a good idea in some way. Maybe she also only wants to use this probe for later scouting. Okay, seems like it. Yeah, just actually wants to see whether a base is being taken down here or not. Miyako playing it very safe. Does not really want to fall to any sort of cheese, which he's probably expecting, which is of course a wise idea because, like I said, I mean, again, even though Miyako has not really been preparing for this match, on paper she still is the superior opponent. So she will probably expect her opponent to cheese her at some point throughout the best of 5. So if you expect your opponent to cheese you, you of course don't really want to take that risk. That would just be stupid. I mean, why would you? Of course it costs you some time to fly this command center down. Yes, you lose some mining time. Yes, the build is not as economically accurate as it could be. Already going to Ghost Academy right away. So seems that Miyako actually wants to go for some sort of a cloaked timing attack here, trying to take out her opponent with full cloaked units. And actually, quite interestingly, Poizon does not have a robo yet whatsoever. So this could actually hurt her pretty much. I mean, once all of these cloaked units actually move in and she doesn't have any kind of detection, she will be pretty screwed. So let's see if this is going to work for Miyako or not. Her opponent probably has not had the chance to see this at all. Okay, Reaper moves in, sees the first adept, does not really get that much more information here, but does not really need it anyways. So there's the robotics facility finally going down. Cloak is in the making. Let's see what the first unit will be that comes out of this robotics facility. Should actually really be an observer, but the question is, will she keep it at home or will she send it across the map in order to get some more scouting information? But where did I stop? Yeah, I mean, of course this is not like the optimal build economically wise, but yeah, I mean, again, better safe than sorry, and if you rather expect your opponent to cheese you at some point throughout a best of 5, why take any chances if you actually know, or like I said, if you're actually suspecting your opponent of doing something like that. So, okay, actually blocking with a command center here and 2 depots. Or if I want to go, actually there's a small little gap still between these 2 buildings here, so the Shades should actually get in, and there's not much for Miyako to defend because she tacked up very hard. So, good Widow Mine shot here, but of course one Widow Mine alone cannot take out all of these adepts, so Miyako has to evacuate for now. The Ghosts are already out, will now try to take on these units, but the DPS of the Ghost is not that high for now. Snipe, of course, sniping down these adepts pretty well there. Unfortunately, Cloak is not done, and Miyako does not want to lose these expensive Ghosts to these adepts, but Cloak is done right now. So Miyako is almost losing this Ghost over here. Why is she not cloaking? I don't really understand, but of course she gets everything done without cloak. Probably didn't want to give it away that she already went into cloak, but then again, I mean, if you show your 2 ghosts that early on in the game, your opponent will probably expect you to go for some sort of cloak shenaniganery. So Poizon will keep her first observer with her main army back at home, and right now she's actually looking pretty good here. 42 workers to only 31 of Miyako. 16 in army supply, no upgrades yet, and not even a forge for Poizon. She's pretty secure back at home as well, is probably expecting her opponent to do some drop harassment using mines, so she has 2 stalkers in the mineral line, at least at home, does not have units back here, so actually yeah, something could be sent in. For now it's an auto turret, taking out 1 and 2 workers, not much more, and then yeah, the best thing to do is usually to just let it expire and not attack it, and not attack into it, because you will only use units or workers trying to do so when the turret will pretty much expire quickly anyways. So also having an observer just above the command center here is also a good move by Poizon. She has everything in check, also going for the nexus down here. Just a short look at the APM tab, but more production in line for Miyako. She is behind, she needs to do something here. Unfortunately, her heavy tech push did not quite work out for her. She's still going strong with the ghosts. We almost see no other unit being produced. My god, Miyako is just getting crazy with the tech units here. It only has a bare minimum of defenses set up, now even lifting the command center towards the 3rd position, while Poizon is already taking her 3rd as well. Poizon just macroing up like crazy and is still pretty much ahead in everything, be it workers, be it army, and even be it bases. Not anymore, but yeah, her base is is at least halfway saturated, while Miyako only now can start saturating that base over here. Upgrade-wise, both are trying to get in their upgrades. Double upgrade production with these 2 forges for Poizon. We also have Stim Pack and only 1 engineering base so far for Miyako, producing the armor level upgrade, interestingly enough. Does she already have the... oh yeah, she already has the attack upgrade, so never mind. Medevac over here got scouted, it seems. Yeah, okay, it looks like I just missed a little drop down here where the observer, where actually the pylon probably saw it. We also have a photon cannon in here, so widow mines won't really do jack shit. And it seems as if the Raven also had to move back. There was a photon cannon here as well. Seems as if the auto turret only started hitting the shields of this photon cannon, but they have already regenerated by now. So the harassment that Miyako was trying to do didn't quite work out at all. Now she's just stuck with a lot of ghosts and no real army, so to speak of. I'm actually a little bit worried. Poizon is already getting Colossi. She's also getting Charge. Her upgrades are looking great so far. I mean, she's catching up. Is she chrono boosting those 2 forges? No, she's not. So actually, well, she's still okay with the 1-1, already getting into 2-1, while her opponent is only now finishing 1-1 and will probably then go into 2-2 immediately with the help of this armory. Liberators, but also in production, and a 4th base already going up for Poizon. Poizon not afraid of going into a big macro game after having gained the early advantage, which might actually be a good idea. I mean, went ahead, try to get more ahead. The problem, of course, is that you also may give your opponent the opportunity to get back into the game if you just try to out-macro your opponent. But your opponent might be better at macro than you. So let's see. Nuke in production. And all you Terran fans out there will probably cheer in awe and joy right now. Starport's another starport in production, actually. Obviously wants to go into heavy Liberator production, I think. Maybe wants to use 1 starport for Liberators and 1 for Vikings. has now seen the army composition that Poizon is going for, and has seen that Colossi are in the mix. So we might actually see Viking production from that second starport, or maybe even right now. I mean, the ghosts are still pretty dangerous, don't get me wrong. A few good EMPs can just halve all of the hit points of this army, and then the army might just get totaled by the rest of the units that are down there. So let's see, yeah, like I said, 4 Vikings in production right now. Miyako actually committing to full Viking production, wants to take out these Colossi as quickly as possible. And like I said, I mean, if the MPs just cover all of this clumped up army, then yeah, like I said, the hit points will just get halved in an instant. So that would be really problematic for Poizon. She has an observer in the mix, but it's not an observer with speed. So it might be rather difficult for her to scout or see the units in advance, the ghosts in advance. In the meantime, yeah, Poizon also giving... I mean, Miyako is giving Poizon the time to build up, but Poizon is also giving Miyako the time to build up. In the meantime, we're getting all the good upgrades here. Poizon trying her best, also getting the Dark Shrine right now because she has the resources for it. Doesn't really need to take a 5th base, although she could. She's still floating a few minerals, so could do that easily. Miyako, in the meantime, setting up her 4th base. That will probably take place down here, I feel. Yeah, Poizon still checking for a 4th over here. Also has the watchtowers, so the map control, I mean, is totally in Poizon's favor. No doubt about that. More and more Colossi coming out. So far, how many Vikings are there? 8, but that's okay-ish. I mean, you don't really want to invest everything into only Vikings, but 8 Vikings can actually, I don't think one-shot a Colossus, but at least 2-shot. So they should be taken out pretty easily. And here we have the big engagement. Nice little concave there for Miyako. There the Vikings come in, also the Liberators. Unfortunately, well, what am I doing? Poizon is fighting right underneath these liberation zones. And like I said, these Vikings just relentlessly taking out, and like I said, 2-shotting. Yeah, bam. Mostly 2-shotting these Colossi, and oh, suddenly just all of the heavy tech units of Poizon fall, going down. The rest of the army is moving towards the front, but Miyako's army, for most of it, is still fully intact. So she should be pretty fine here, I think. Is now going for the counter-attack, and unfortunately Poizon does not really have anything back at home. So I think that must feel rather frustrating there, having built up an army so nicely, having played so well so far, and then just lost the engagement that was happening outside on the map. Okay, it's attacking this command center down here with only 1 zealot, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is this main engagement down here. There's only 1 AoE dealer whatsoever, and it will get taken out in 2 rounds, or actually 3, because not all of these Vikings were shooting at once, and there's 1 less. So it took a 3rd additional shot, but it doesn't really mean. Scans go down in order to take out these Dark Templars. However, Dark Templars still do damage even when discovered or when decloaked by scans. Miyako's army mostly still alive, and every damage she does right now is damage that Poizon needs to recover from. She's down, or was down 50 supply, has now just warped in a lot of units here in order to clean up this heavy Marauder force. Miyako could actually just easily land these Vikings, but leaves them in the air just in case another Colossus should show up. And in the meantime, all of these probes are dying. Poizon obviously does not want to take them away to buy some more time. Now she finally tries to evacuate them, and the Zealots will eventually clear up this Marauder force, but the next force is already on its way, and with a little bit of splitting and stutter stepping, these Zealots will not stand a chance against the forces of Miyako. Miyako will now easily take out the Robo down here, and also the Nexus. Will now even see that the probes are evacuating towards that direction, and she also knows about that base, so never mind. Even if she didn't know, she would by now. Trying to get a Void Ray out, that might help her against the Liberators and maybe even Vikings. 1 alone will not really do that much, but yeah, everything on the ground will still get shredded. Stalker is not the best choice against Marauders, but what can Poizon do at that point in time is just desperately trying to get A few more warp-ins of units. Now finally the Vikings land. This base will be done for as well, and with it, the only mining left mostly. I mean, this base is almost dry, only 3 very low mineral fields. The main base is already empty. Yeah, and this means essentially no mining for Poizon right now. Not even 500 minerals to the 2,800 of her opponent. And Miyako even scouts. Yeah, the other base is guessing that her opponent might have some sort of backup plan, maybe a hidden base somewhere that could get her back into the game. She's probably wondering why her opponent has not typed GG yet. So, is now flying in, the Liberators are set up, the Vikings just shooting down the Colossi bit by bit. Nothing that stands inside these zones can live. GG, and Miyako takes the first map. Sequencer is our next map. Spawning to the bottom left in purple we have Miyako. And to the top right in red it's Poizon. After having played a magnificent first map, unfortunately the first engagement did not really work out the way she had hoped it would be. And Miyako could prevail after the first long drawn-out macro game. So let's see if Poizon wants to play a game like that once more, or if she rather goes for something more timing focused or even cheesy. We'll see if it's going to work or not. So far standard opening for both players, but we have a quick second gate for Poizon incoming, so seems she wants to up the ante and apply a little bit more pressure early on. Probe already on the move. Might actually be a little bit more difficult. Might actually be expecting her opponent to take a base down here, since Sequencer is a huge ass map. But we'll see if Miyako will actually try to take a base down here. That her opponent might be able to tear down. So Poizon has seen everything, the gas, the barracks, might even now see the barracks building, knowing that it's probably going to be a Reaper. And this time around Miyako does not play it safely. So nice little mind game there by Poizon. Cybernetics core already in the making. Nothing out of these gateways though. We'll probably wait for the Cybernetics core to finish so that you will be able to produce 2 adepts straight away. And here they come. Chrono boosted even. Yeah, Poizon really wants to apply some pressure down here. Don't really know if it's going to work out. I mean, once these adepts finally come out and have crossed the map, this command center will most likely be done. So all that Miyako actually needs to do is just lift it. I mean, she might lose a worker or 2, maybe 3 in a worst case scenario. And of course she might actually be contained for a little bit. But that's something that Poizon needs to do anyways. She really needs to do some harm now, because she's delaying her own base for quite some time. But yeah, it might actually kind of work out, doing a little bit of damage there. But like I said, I mean, Miyako... actually, I mean, this is 3 adepts, right? Is it only 2? Oh, the shades were just looking a little bit strange there. So, first adept is now moving in with the second... Okay, waiting for the second one. Now they come in. Actually wants to see that bunker pretty quickly there and try to take the SEV out before it can finish the bunker. There it goes down. So the bunker is not finished. We only have 2 Marines so far. But we have a Widow Mine over here. So Poizon will not be able to move upwards that ramp and deal some more damage over here. And now, like I said, I mean, Orbital Command is done. The only thing, yeah, Miyako just letting Poizon attack a little bit, because as long as she attacks the Orbital Command, she won't attack up here. If she lets these finish, the Widow Mine might just crush them. No, okay. Just looking if these units want to come down or not. And like I said, this is just damage that can be counter-repaired later on. But of course, I mean, the damage is being dealt by keeping Miyako from mining from this base. Even a little mistake there by Miyako producing an SCV out of this Orbital Command that gets taken out. Ooh! And now even the Adepts get inside the base, but I think that should be their end right now. Too many Marines down here. Poizon still trying to deal as much damage as possible by taking out another worker. Like I said, about 3 workers Maybe a fourth one? No. Okay, 3 workers for the 2 adapts, plus a lot of lost mining time down here, while getting her own base up. I'd say that was a successful harassment. 30 to 22 workers so far. I guess Miyako probably not in a good mood right here, even not really rallying down her mule correctly, so only one of the mules is working, now she realizes, and sends down the rest of the mules as well. So her income at disadvantage should fix itself pretty easily within the next minute, so no problem there. Bunker is now getting down as well. We also have a window mine in position. Poizon knows that window mines are in the game. She already has a robo out and is already getting an observer there while saturating her base. But again, I mean, yeah, she did some damage early on, damage that mostly equaled out in the end, both players now. I mean, she's still a little bit ahead in workers because Protoss can produce workers out of 2 Nexus that are chrono boosted. Only one of them is, actually. The other one is probably still... okay, chrono boosting the robotics facility to get out the Immortals a little bit more quickly. And with the engineering base, Miyako just blocks off the entrance into her natural base and also into a possible 3rd one, while getting the 2 engineering base that will help her get some better upgrades. And again, we have a Ghost Academy once more. So Miyako, again, just going for the ghosts, wants to have EMPs available. I mean, ghosts are a very powerful unit when being played by the right player, when being used by the right player. 3rd base already getting down for Poizon, and it seems as if Poizon again, feeling that she gained herself an advantage early on in the game, wants to deepen it a little bit more, wants to extend it. And now the window mines come in. We have a mothership core, but no pylon here. Fortunately for her, the observer is in place, but the first window mine shots will take out 6 workers already. I think that should probably be it. Miyako won't bother to unburrow them. Actually, she might have thought about it, but then the medevac is already pretty low. And is it still in range of that stalker? Okay, not anymore. So, oof, what the hell? 14 workers, what happened there? Oh, and over here at the same time there was another medevac, never mind. That actually get a good chunk of workers over here, so 14 in total got killed. So yeah, that backed totally up, and now Miyako's actually equalized the series. It is really difficult to see this purple moving across black on the minimap, so that was rather difficult to see. But yeah, and seems as if there were 7 more even. Okay, this window mine is still there. Window mine gets unburrowed. This window mine gets unburrowed as well. Right out of the range. Probably not the vision range of the cannon. Yeah, not the vision range of the cannon, but at least the firing range of the cannon. So Poizon now even has to retreat with all of her units back into the main base. Might actually still get a good hit there on a few of these units. Well, at least 2 more workers. So that was actually a lot of damage dealt, and right now in workers Miyako has surpassed her opponent. Another drop going inside the base, this time with Marine Marauder, while taking a 3rd base right behind it, the other medevac coming back home, and it seems as if Poizon also wants to move out, which could just be the fatal anti-timing. If this push actually hits the 3rd base with only 1 cannon in place, while the rest of the army is moving towards the natural base of her opponent, this base will probably lost. And this, I mean, this can be tough to break, but there's only a few units with 1 bunker here. If Miyako reacts in time, and Poizon does not pull back. Ooh, now actually even loading up everything. That's really risky actually by Miyako. She's actually a little bit lucky that Poizon moved towards the right hand side and didn't take the immediate base and is now actually moving back. Ooh, totally retreating. Yeah, that was, like I said, the bad anti-timing. Very unlucky there for Poizon. Like I said, now this army attacking the 3rd base, it will be done, and Poizon was just standing right in the middle of the map, not even close enough to Miyako's base in order to decide to go for a base race. Miyako now moving into the into the main base even. For an overcharge gets done, but then the mothership core gets taken out with a lot of energy actually. And I feel, I mean, Miyako can still just load up and escape if she really wants to. Disruptor shot does not really hit anything. And right now a little bit of miss micro there by Poizon, was moving towards the army and then retreating for some reason. And actually the main nexus falls as well, and Poizon GG's out immediately. Abyssal Reef is our third map, spawning to the bottom right in purple, playing Terran for LDLC in France. It's Miyako. And to the top left in red, playing Protoss for Psystorm. And the US, it's Poizon. Down 0-2, has to make something happen right now. She's tried to go for macro games 2 times in a row. It didn't quite work out. Will she go for another macro game, or will she try something sneaky with this first scouting probe? Question mark. We'll see that. Miyako so far has been looking unbreakable for our US Protoss. So Poizon gets in, sees the classic standard opening by Miyako, nothing all too unexpected. This time around Miyako even going for a worker scout, so that might mean that we won't see a Reaper out of her, or she's just uncertain and really expects no. Like I said, she wants to go into reactors straight away and into marine production afterwards. So Probe is going to the left hand side, sneaky sneaky, so we might actually see a Stargate build with an Oracle over here. Don't really think it's going to be DTs yet, that's definitely a plan. So, and judging from that angle, I think it's going to be Oracles. Which could kind of backfire, because with this she will probably not have early detection inside her own base. And let's see what Miyako is opting for. So what's it going to be? We'll see in a minute. Command center on the high ground again. Miyako is probably really expecting her opponent to do something cheesy this time around. And there it goes, Stargate. Poizon also has the pylon in a location where she would be able to catch up Reapers and everything else that just wants to sit down, waiting to get elevated into the main base. Nexus is already done, while Miyako is still building. Stargate still in the way as well. Factory and a few more Marines for Miyako early on. So yeah, like I said, Miyako was probably expecting her opponent to cheese this time around, after, like I also analyzed, 2 macro games didn't quite work out. And after these 2 games not really working out, ooh, and the Marine even finding the Stargate. How very unfortunate there for Poizon, but well played by Miyako. Like I said, Miyako definitely expecting something like that. Even the second Marine moving across the map, looking for other possible proxy locations, but it's just on shift command, so it's just working its route. So the Oracle will get out, and then of course Poizon will have to think about whether she wants to, okay, we'll take out this Marine with the help of an Adept, and another Adept, and that's just moving over here. Yeah, there's already a second pylon here, so it doesn't really matter had Miyako taken out that one. Okay, Widowmine is already in position. Oracle flying to the third base location, building a stasis ward, so it will be more difficult for Miyako to plant a building down here, should she try to expand a second time. Nothing over here so far, only one Widowmine that's pretty tucked back, so should Poizon actually come in right from the left hand side, is not actually going for another Oracle here after having been scouted. And Miyako's already getting a Viking out, so that she will be able to counter the Oracle. But of course, Poizon is still looking kind of okayish. Unfortunately, a lot of her workers are not working, but now they are going into the gas straight away. She's up 7 workers, and also not looking bad in the army supply. So Miyako actually again has to play catch up by a little here. But still, I mean, after the proxy oracle, okay, another oracle incoming. The other oracle is just moving around left and right, just collecting energy. Might actually try to get these oracles together in order to deal some more damage, or not. Is sending one oracle back to her own base, probably to have some sort of detection early on. The adepts securing the ground in front of the natural base. And it seems as if Poizon will go for another macro game, absent any other choice now, because Miyako has now fortified everything pretty well. There is a missile turret inside the natural base, has not trying to take a third base over here. There's a missile turret in the main base as well. We also have a few marines in place. She could actually pick up these, but yeah, just gets a revelation spell off so that she will always see if something is happening inside Miyako's base, maybe even the army composition, should Miyako actually rally these units too close towards the buildings. Yeah, I can actually see this from over here. Yeah, just the range. See that a few units are being seen by Poizon. But yeah, I mean, the army composition is Marine, Marauder, Medevac anyways, so not, and probably mines later on. There they are already. So, I mean, nothing all too unexpected. So the info she gathers by the revelation spell is not really that important, because she knows that her opponent is going for this composition. Of course, she will see a little bit better how much there actually is, and hasn't seen the Widow Mines, because Miyako was deliberately keeping them tucked back so that they wouldn't get seen by the revealed units. So now moving across the map with an oracle, and this could actually be quite difficult to hold. We'll see. I mean, she still has the high ground advantage, Anakin. And the immortals are ready, also a few sentries for force fields and maybe even guardian shields. And this time around only... Okay, Widow Mines can actually burrow, so this might actually be problematic. Whoa, extremely good Widow Mine shots right into the army of Poizon here, but the force field keeps them out for most part. Still, Poizon unfortunately running into her own force field, making it possible for the Marauders to shoot the units that got trapped there. And now Poizon just has to re-establish her army as quickly as possible. Finally, two Liberators arrive at the front as well. No siege up yet, but now they're getting sieged up, and of course now it's getting really problematic for our US Protoss here. She cannot really fight underneath the liberation zones, but she just doesn't have the means in order to take out these Liberators as well, and needs to get these Stalkers over to the left-hand flank immediately, trying to take out these Liberators from afar. As soon as she fights underneath the liberation zones, her life will be forfeit. Good stasis ward over here that should actually kind of keep Poizon, should actually keep Miyako from getting inside the base too far, unless of course she realizes what's up. She doesn't have any vision of that stasis ward, only sees the pumping heart of it, maybe. But should she get too close to the stasis ward, this fight could actually somehow turn around. In the meantime, Miyako taking a third base as well, and as we can see, only production for Miyako at that point in time. Poizon totally kept busy by this push down here, and the Liberators being a nuisance as always. No way now to even get close to these Liberators without taking any hits. Building a Void Ray back at the Stargate, maybe sending it across the map, but it will take quite some time. Marauder moving forward, triggering this stasis ward, so now it's gone. And Poizon is immediately building another one over to the left-hand side, where it's not really that useful, but of course better than nothing. More units being rallied across the map. And like I said, Poizon just cannot engage into these liberation zones. It's just impossible. She would lose so much. The only thing Miyako needs to do is just stim upwards the ramp once she realizes that her opponent tries to engage. And now it happens. Poizon is moving forward, not really target firing the Liberators, but she does not have enough anti-air anyways. And that was what Miyako was just waiting for Poizon to make an impatient move here. So again, just shaved off mostly all of the anti-air. There's 4 Stalkers here, but like I said, the problem is that Poizon cannot really engage this. Might actually be able to move around the Stalkers in order to take out that Liberator. Now the Liberators fly in, the best chance for Poizon actually to take 1 or 2 of them down, but the Widow Mines are in position as well. Finally, we have a Void Ray here. Not too many units that actually can shoot up here, because this army consists mostly of Liberators anymore, but the Widow Mines just clear off everything, and the army of Poizon dies in a attempt to move out that just didn't quite work. No more units left. The rest of the bio plus the Liberators now moving inside the natural base, and it seems as if Poizon will not be able to withstand that much longer, is desperately trying to finish her gateways up and get a few more units out, but this base is lost. This base is definitely a goner, and Miyako doesn't even have to engage upwards the ramp. She can just easily move over to the left hand side, take out that other mining base, and then just sit comfortably on 3 bases until she's maxed and can finally take out her opponent. So the Stasis Ward at least gets 2 Marines here, but that's not really that much and not really that important. In the meantime, we're just getting, Miyako just macroing right behind without any problem. Poizon floating a lot of gas and minerals because she just cannot spend it. She just doesn't have the infrastructure in order to get rid of it. There it was, the big warp-in of a lot of units. But yeah, there's the engagement. Miyako decides to stim up right into the main base, setting the Liberators up. Now finally the army comes in from behind, might actually even be able to take out most of these Liberators here. But now they re-siege, and now it will be more difficult for Poizon to engage once more, especially with all of these Widow Mines underneath them. This ramp is a dead zone. And in the meantime, only a few units actually trying to take out these units. Miyako should actually try to target fire this pylon, but she's probably pretty busy microing her units down here, taking out the remaining Stalkers there. So, okay, once one production building falls, and it seems as if Poizon might actually be able to clear this up eventually. Although it was a really tough fight, but still, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Miyako, in the meantime, is getting a 4th base, was probably not even expecting to need one. And Poizon holds! Just barely, but she holds. Main base is outmined. And the 3rd base is already oversaturated. But I mean, where does she go from here? That is actually the biggest problem. What edge does she have? Better upgrades. That's actually her only edge. She will have 2-2 in just a few seconds, but Stalkers are just not the best units against Bio. Tries to take a Nexus over here to the left-hand side. I think that's a really good idea. This natural base was already pretty empty anyways. So taking a fresh base, if you need to, of course, the best thing to do. But 50 supply behind is telling a tale, and it's not a good one for Poizon. So Miyako, in the meantime, also just getting the upgrades, has the base ready now, can lift it and put it somewhere else. Then she will be up 1 base, actually up 2 bases maybe even. Right now she is, and once this Nexus finishes and gets not taken out. But yeah, this is of course Miyako's main target. Moving in, having scouted and scanned the army of Poizon, how big it is and how much of a threat it may pose. And Miyako has come to the conclusion that there is no threat. Stims in, sets up the Liberators, and goes closer towards the photon cannons. Poizon needs to engage. She's underprepared, she does not have the means, but what else can she do? Trying to buy some more time for another warp-in round, which is a lot of warp-ins there. Even getting this Liberator before it can really siege up. So nice engagement there as well. Poizon just struggling, trying to do their best to actually push this pushback. Might even barely be able to hold once more. But again, she's actually just prolonging the inevitable here. I'm sorry to say, because without a 3rd base, and Miyako already having her 4th, it is just a mere matter of time anymore. Miyako's army will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, while Poizon just needs to throw money at infrastructure, replacing her new buildings, waiting for them to finish. And 70 seconds, 71 seconds to be precise, before this Nexus finishes, here we can see it, is a lot of time. Is a lot of time for an army to grow bigger. That's almost 3 production rounds worth of production for a Terran player, depending on the unit you want to construct. It's even a planetary over here, so Poizon will probably not even be able to engage this without suffering heavy losses. The army is fairly close by. Miyako can just counter-repair, which she does right now. Moves in with the rest of the army. There it stims. Yeah, and of course the planetary dealing some damage as well. This will be the final push of Poizon. She wanted to deal some counter damage, but she just didn't have the means. GG, and Poizon takes the Miyako takes the series 3-0, advancing to the semifinals to play Scion there.